Now, in the UK, Ford have been very big on their new edge design styling. They've brought us cars like the Puma, the Cougar, and the Car. But here in the States, things seem to have gone a little awry as far as new edge design styling goes. Anyway, that's for sure, because we found the new Ford Thunderbird, which is due out in a couple of years' time. And this certainly is not new edge design styling. It's very retro, or as they call it in the automotive industry here, heritage design. Now, the Thunderbird evokes fabulous memories of the 1950s for the American people. Wonderful Thunderbird cars built between 1955 and 1957. And Ford sent out people to buy cars up from the 50s, bring them back to their headquarters here in Detroit, and then sent designers out to wash those old cars by hand for them to get the feel of how the cars went and the surfaces involved, so they could come up with this wonderful new Thunderbird for the new millennium.
This is not so much about the future, this is really about the past. If you look back into the history of the Thunderbird, which really goes back to the October of 1954, there is a lot of emotion wrapped up in this country around this vehicle, particularly the nameplate. And although the nameplate has had good and bad cars surrounding it over that 50-year history, people's hearts are really back in 54 through 57 models. What you see behind me is really a vehicle that captures the essence of that, we think, in a thoroughly modern way.
So there were no thoughts of trying to incorporate new edge design into this sort of Thunderbird car?
No, absolutely not. The Thunderbird nameplate is really something that can stand on its own. Certainly this vehicle will be shown and sold at Ford dealerships, but the Thunderbird badge is something that everyone in the United States understands and loves.
And it is definitely going to go into production in its present shape?
I'll tell you this much. We have not made an announcement at this point that the vehicle will be produced, but the vehicle that you do see here is 100% feasible.
And what about for the UK? Do you think we'll see it in Britain at some stage, right-hand drive form?
We haven't made a decision on that. I'm a large advocate that we bring this vehicle to the US because I think to the UK. I think there are customers in the UK as well as in Germany, in France, that want a piece of the new world, and this is what they think about when they think about the new world.
So what sort of brief did the designers have for coming up with this idea? How did they go about it?
Well, I would tell you at first it was probably a redesign of the Thunderbird, but redesign is probably the wrong choice of words. We really acted as curators of the heritage of the original vehicles, so that when we go back and look at the 56, 57, and 61 and 62 models, those are the classic vehicles that really inspired us to try to reinterpret this new car in a much more graphic way.
Is it true that you sent out your designers washing old Thunderbird cars to get the shape and feel absolutely perfect?
Only to familiarize themselves with the original vehicles. I think particularly for younger designers that didn't grow up as I did with their dads owning a vehicle like this, that's very important, and certainly that's one way to get it done.
Now, you don't like the term retro styling, do you?
I don't mind the term retro styling. I just wouldn't call this car retro. I'd call it at least modern heritage. We're picking up the essence of the original vehicle without actually putting old-fashioned cues, which is what I really think retro is, onto the vehicle.